My girl Caesar was so real when she asked God to bless these 20 somethings because these 20 somethings really need to be blessed. Welcome to your 20s, where we discuss, laugh, cry, and walk through conversations regarding your 20s. We're all still trying to figure it out. Welcome to the squad. I am your host, Chloe the Creative. Okay, so I don't know if you guys can tell, but you guys are now listening to a 24-year-old. Hello, my 20-somethings, and welcome to yet another exciting episode of these 20-somethings. This is episode 4, which is so crazy. Season 3, episode 4. Can't believe it. Like, time is flying by so fast. Yes, guys, I turned 24 last week. This episode initially was supposed to be recorded in New York, but because I had a jam-packed, list of things that I wanted to do, I just couldn't record it. So I was just like, you know what, like, it's okay. My community will wait. They'll understand. But yeah, so last week was my 21st birthday. I went to spend it in New York, my dream city. If you follow me on socials, then you know this, but I've always wanted to go to New York. New York has always been my dream city. And the mere fact that I was able to gift myself with this amazing trip is just a dream come true. I had the time of my life in New York. I could not believe it. I think during like my last few hours in New York, because I had to fly in back to Atlanta, I was sitting at Central Square and, no, not Central Square, Central Park. I was at Central Park chilling, and I just started crying because I was just like, oh my God, I can't believe God is so good to me. Like, this is a park I used to see on TV while at home, and now I'm sitting literally in the middle of the park, and I'm watching people, go about their day, and it was such a dream come true for me. I could not believe that a whole me was in New York. So before I just get started into today's episode, I do just want to remind you guys that your dreams are very much valid, and sometimes it may take longer for them to, to manifest, but it doesn't mean that they're not happening. It took me 10 years plus for me to finally go to New York. New York became my dream city back in primary. So you can imagine, I went through primary, I went through high school, I went through varsity, I went through a bit of, working, and then I had to move. And only then did it happen. Like, it took so many years. And it's always been a constant prayer of mine. It's always been at the back of my thoughts. Like, New York has never left my heart. And I'm so grateful that it eventually came to be, and I got to experience it. So this is just a reminder that there is nothing too impossible for God. There is nothing too big. There is no dream that's too big. There is no goal that's too big. There's absolutely nothing in this world. There's absolutely nothing in this world that you can't have or you can't be. You just need to, put in the work, continue praying, and just continue doing this life thing, Yeah. That is just my my little, advice, and I'm feeling very much inspired right now, and I'm just giving off the positive vibes to you guys, and I hope it helps. Yeah. Okay, cool. Let's get into today's episode. So, what I wanted to do really for my birthday was to share the things that I had learned in my 24 years of living. Obviously, some things were I am still learning. Some things were learned earlier on in life. Some things are recent, and some things I am obviously in the process of just like like just getting to learn them and implement them in my life. And I just wanted to share these things with you guys. So let's go. And also, they're not in order, so there is no, all of these are important. Like, there is no one that's more important than the other. They're just all over the place, and I hope you guys take what you need. Let's get started. Okay, number 1. I have learned the importance of keeping an open mind to life, people, experiences. Life will always come with an element of surprise. Keep your mind open. I've also learned the importance of learning how to forgive others, more especially yourself. So my first name, Kolisile, basically means apologized, and I closely link that word to forgiveness. But for me, forgiveness has always been such a hard concept, because in my mind, I'm like, if I forgive this person for doing this thing to me, then that means they will think it's okay. So for the longest time, I've always struggled with forgiveness. I've struggled with forgiveness with others and with myself. I think with myself, I'm more hard on myself, because it's more of a thing, Uguti, you should have known better. Like, why did you do that? Like, you should have known better. And it's a very hard concept for me to kind of grasp and implement. So I am trying to get to a point where I forgive myself for all the mistakes that I've made. I think one of the biggest battle right now that I'm dealing with is that in January I don't know if you guys know, but I'm an au pair. So I'm an au pair in America, and in January I was with a family in California, and things were great. So I stayed with the family from September 2023 until January 2024. And I remember in January 2024, I knew that I was going to leave the family because there were certain things that I was not happy with. But I had not yet brought forth, that conversation of me saying, hey guys, I would like to go into rematch because I want to be with a new family. I'm not happy with you guys anymore. But I remember there was a situation that we were in, and then we had a fight, and there were so many things that I got accused of which were not true, right? And I remember because of the shock and just the fear of what would happen if if I backchatted, or if I stood up for myself more than what I had already done at that time. There's certain things that I didn't say that I could have said, So, and I think I'm so mad. Like, a part of me is mad at myself, because a part of me is like, why didn't you say this? Why didn't you say that? Now these people are going to have like a certain perception of you. They're going to think the things that they were saying about you are true, because you never spoke up. You never told them that like what they're saying is wrong. And I know it's not my fault. Like, the things that they were saying, not my fault. Like, they were just lying on me, guys. Like, they were lying on me. But a part of me, it's just a part of my brain is just struggling to believe that. And I really wish I had spoken up for myself more. But I know that I did what I could at the time. And the mere fact that I even got out, like the mere fact that I even eventually told them that, like, this is not working, I need to get another family. That was good, that was like a good thing. I just wish I had done more. Look at me oversharing, but you know what, that's the point of this podcast. So yeah, I'm just trying to learn how to forgive myself and know that what I did in that moment was enough, and that's all I could do in that moment, and even if I had done more, it's not like it was gonna change the situation. So yeah, learning how to forgive others and myself. Okay, number 3, people are allowed, and you also are allowed to make a decision on how you allow people and the things they do in your life. I don't know if that makes sense. But people are allowed to be themselves. People are allowed to do whatever they want. But I'm also allowed, and I'm also allowed. But it is also my responsibility to kind of weigh out the options on how far I allow people to be themselves in my life and the things that they do. And this obviously just ties it back to boundaries and just like learning how to have boundaries. What boundaries do I have in place for myself, for other people? Yeah. Number 4, your childhood will catch up with you and show up in different ways. Learn to take note. Guys, I don't know how many times the way I was raised, the things that happened in my childhood have shown up this year alone. I'm not even speaking about last year or the year before that, but like how you were raised really does show up in adulthood, and it's very interesting because now you are aware, and you are also interacting with other people whose childhoods are also showing up, and it's like, damn, so we were raised differently, or damn, we were raised similarly. And sometimes, childhood shows up in great ways, with great memories, and sometimes it shows up with hurts and trauma, and just learning how to kind of filter out through, that, like those experiences, and take what you need and heal from what you need to heal from, has been a really great self-aware aspect that like I am grateful for, because now I understand why sometimes I act a certain way, or why I react a certain way to, like, to different things, or why I do things a certain way. It's just great, like, that I'm this aware of who I am and how I was raised. It's something that I don't take for granted. Okay. Number 5. I might lose numbers. But I do all of the things that I'm gonna share are 24. So if I lose numbers, just carry on, okay? Number 5. I've learned, and I am still learning, to keep my heart open. I am a lover, okay, but also just a lover in general, but also I do like tend to withhold and like hold my heart very close to me, and just like close it because I don't want to get hurt. But I'm learning to keep it open. Number 6. Humans project so much, and so do I. So I've learned to not take things personally. Sometimes I'm great at this, and sometimes I'm not. I am still learning. But a lot of times when people do things, it's usually because of them and not because of us. Learn to not take things personally. I'm also learning. Number 7. Still learning this, but not everything needs you to handle it with a fighting spirit. Choose your battle wisely. Those who know me know, like, when I'm in situations, like, I'm always in a fighting mode. I'm always in a fighting mode because I'm feeling one bang try, like, and it's like I need to show up in a fighting mode so that not to mess with me or my family or my loved ones next time. Do you get what I'm saying? But I know that sometimes just peace really does settle matters down, and even the Bible does say that, like, when we handle things in a calm tone, things get settled, but a fighting spirit just causes more war. So choose your battles wisely. Number 8. It is my responsibility to build the life that I want. This became very clear to me last year when I came to America, and it just felt like I have this big canvas, and I have, paint brushes on one side and paint on the other, and God was like, there you go. Create what you want to see on this canvas. And it was very overwhelming, still is overwhelming, but it's great power to know that your life is in your hands, and you get to decide how you want it to look like. And no one else can narrate it for you. No one else can decide for you. You have that power, and so choose wisely. Number 9. I am allowed to change my mind. Do I need to explain this? Do I need to explain this? Like, yeah, I don't think I need to explain it. I am allowed to change my mind, and so are you. Number 10. Every decision that you take has consequences. Think things through and weigh your options. Be intentional about the choices you make, and give yourself enough room to accept the results. So this clicked to me today, actually. So I was doing puzzles, and I was just, in my zone, and I quickly texted a friend of mine, and I was like, hey, it was a very personal question, and I was like, hey, do you think if I had made this decision 6 years ago, I would be here? And obviously I didn't put it like that, but I'm just trying to rephrase what I said. But I was like, hey, do you think if I had made this decision, I would still be here? I would be here in this specific, the specific situation, and my friend was like, maybe, or maybe not. And I realized that 6 years ago I made a very, I wouldn't say big decision, but I made a very interesting decision, and it changed the direction of it changed the direction that I was working in, right? And it opened up another door that I went through, and in that door I obviously have had good experiences and met amazing people, and I know that I wouldn't have met those people had I not taken the decision I took 6 years ago. But also at the same time, it's like, I wonder what my life would have been like if I did not take that decision. Like, if I stayed, with that, situation that I was in. Like, I wonder what my life would have been like, But also I do know that I needed the experience of where I need the experience of where I am, and I don't regret taking the decision that I took 6 years ago. Was it 6 years ago? I think it was 6 years ago. Let's see. No, it was, yeah. Let me say 6. It was between 6 years. No, it was 6 years. Definitely 6 years. But yeah, it was taking that decision was, it changed everything, and I just wonder what my life would have been like had I not taken that decision. But no regrets. I just, it just dawned onto me that every decision has, pros and cons. Every decision will change your life, whether you like it or not, and it's so important for you to think things through. Don't just take decisions because, they are working for you in that moment or whatever, but take decisions because you are okay with the results the decisions are going to bring. Okay, 11. See, I forgot. 11. Build and maintain a really good relationship with your siblings. They are the closest people to your past, and they are the ones most likely to stick with you in your future. Keep them close. I think moving away has made me appreciate my sisters even more. This is the longest time I've spent away from my sisters, and I am losing my mind. I am losing my mind. But I've also come to realize that my sisters are everything to me, and I can't imagine life without them. And they are the people that are forever gonna be a part of me. Like, they are part of my past. They know everything about me. They don't judge me. They love me unconditionally, and I love them unconditionally. I don't judge them, and I just need to stick with my sisters. Number 12. The world is not gonna wait for you. Don't know if I should explain this or not, but yeah, the world is not gonna wait for you. Build a good relationship with God. You will need that relationship to get through life. Need I say more? You just need God in your life. You need God. You need God. Build a really good relationship with God for yourself. Number 13. Learn to be comfortable alone. Learn to do things alone, and learn to sit in your feelings. Be it they are good or uncomfortable, sit in them. This I'm learning. This is easier said than done, but I know it's very much necessary. Learn to be alone and learn to sit in your feelings. Don't avoid them. Don't try to keep busy. Sit in your feelings and learn to be comfortable with your own presence. Number 14. This I'm still learning as well, but approach life and situations with a clear mind. Don't be led by emotions, which goes back to the don't always approach situations with a fighting spirit. Be calm sometimes. Number 15, be part of a community. You can't do life alone. I don't know if I need to explain that, but be part of a community. Number 16, learn financial literacy. Learn how to handle money, give back to God, save, invest, give to others, have a good relationship with money. Especially because we're in your 20s. I think once whatever habits you form now are gonna leap over or fall over to the next phases of your life. So your 30s, your 40s, your 50s. And you really want to use your 20s to kind of lay out the foundation of good habits. So build really great money habits. Never stop working. I think this is 17. Never stop working on yourself. Work on yourself emotionally, mentally, physically, and financially. Don't need to explain that. Number 19. Be selfish with your body, protect your womb, and have children only when you feel ready. This is towards women, of course. But I think one of my biggest convictions, is this, that protect your body at all costs. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's because I've seen how having children early has kind of, derailed some women who are very close to me, how it has derailed their lives, how having children has changed their perspective and their whole look of life. And I think that is like the one thing that's the one thing I've promised to myself. One of the one things that I've promised to myself, that I'm not going to have a child until I'm ready to have a child, until everything that I feel like needs to checks out. And yeah, this is the gospel I'll forever preach. Protect your womb and be selfish with your body. Kids are a lot of work. Don't have kids if you're not ready. And I say this because I'm an au pair. I work with my host kid for 8 hours a day. And by the time Leo 8 hours, I am exhausted. I'm depleted. And I'm just the au pair. So imagine being the parent. You do this 24/7. There is no break. I get a break and I get paid for it. As a parent, you don't get a break and you don't get paid for it. So, girls, listen to this one advice. Be selfish with your body and have kids only when you are ready to have kids. Number 20, spend time with your parents. They are human too. This I'm still learning as well. Number 21, place people accordingly in your life, and even with that, be intentional. Number 22, establish your beliefs and stand firm in them. That way, you won't always go with the flow. Number 23, travel. Hey guys, even if it's within South Africa, I think now that I've traveled, out of South Africa, and I've seen, different places, I'm so like intrigued. Like there's just something in me that has just been, ignited. Like I just want to travel all the time. Traveling has changed the way I see life. It has opened up my perspective. And I know everyone says this, and it's true. Like, traveling will change your perspective, and it will change you, I had travel, and I had saving to travel on my vision board for years, and it's only now that it's coming into manifestation. So I'm really grateful for that. But yeah, travel, okay? You must travel. Even if you travel alone, even if you travel to Mpumalanga, you travel to Durban, you travel to Mozambique, just travel. Travel, guys. And the last one is number 24. Trust yourself and the decisions you take. Consult with God and your guides. They know, And when you ask for directions, they will give it to you. I don't even think I need to elaborate more on that, but learn to ask God, your guides, for direction. And when you get told the answer, trust that, don't go seeking now to other people and be like, oh, do you think I should do this or do you think I should do that? Like, if you've asked God and, God has given you the answer, don't now go consult with someone else about that answer God gave you. Take that answer and move with it. Trust God, trust your guides, trust yourself. Those are the 24 lessons that I've learned in my 24 year of living. And I'm so grateful that these lessons have come to me at the time that they did. I'm so grateful that there's still some of these things that I'm learning, some of these things that I've gotten really great at. And I'm really excited for how the rest of my, 20s are going to look like. Thank you so much, guys, for listening to this episode. I do want to remind you guys that we are available on YouTube. So please subscribe to our channel. Please subscribe to Spotify as well, because I know that with Spotify you can follow a podcast. So please do that. Please give us a rating. Please share the links. Share the episode with your friends and your family. It really does go a long way in growing our community and in reaching the people that we need to reach. But otherwise, guys, thank you so much for listening, and I'll see you guys in the next one.